Hello from the National NAHRO Conference in Orlando, Florida. We survived the hurricane. We're sitting down with a couple of participants, Sheila Barnett from the Goodland Housing Authority and Patti Preston from Kirksville, Missouri Housing Authority. How you folks doing?
Good, Brad.
Having a good time?
Absolutely.
What would you say was the highlight of the conference for you? Either one.
Getting together with all of my NAHRO friends and family from around the country.
That's always the highlight.
Is there any one program that stood out that you just thought, wow, it just blows your mind and you're able to go back to?
There was a really great session this morning with Bobby Collins and Richard Harrington and
David Gates.
It was very interactive. Those guys have a great sense of humor and they hold your attention. So there's a lot of good information.
Yeah, keeping small agencies out of troubled status, or all agencies, but especially small. So
Right.
that was helpful to everyone in the room, I think.
So you both are executive directors of small housing agencies?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that you face every single day?
Oh my goodness.
Not enough time to get through everything that is required. Right now, I don't have any help in my office, so being the single person that is doing everything between the city and the board and the state and national and HUD and everything that's required, just getting through a massive amount of stuff that's required to keep our people housed.
And staffing's always an issue. People don't seem to want to work these days. So, and while I was here this week, I had to let an employee go. So now I have to take the time to replace him, which takes time away from everything else that I need to do. And like Sheila said, there's deadlines, there's regulations, and all the things that come into play every single day. And then you have the tenant issues on top of it. And we end up being housers, counselors, social workers, babysitters, you know.
I would say it's
Parents,
an interesting.
grandparents.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting what any of us put on our job resume as a job description for this job.
Yes.
It's hard to describe exactly. Most people in the world have no clue what this
Exactly.
job entails.
Well, and it was interesting, the keynote speaker this morning, she did a fabulous job, but she spoke about something that I found was interesting, especially coming from the military standpoint, was how, we always talk about how exhausted we are because we are doing so much on limited staff, and how tired we are, but it's not so much how tired we are, it's how lonely we are. And
Yes.
would you speak, you have extensive service in this line of work and extensive time. Can you speak a little bit to that, if you don't mind?
Well, I can. I mean, I'm a widow. I live alone with my dogs. I have grown children who have their own families, and I come home in the evenings, and if I need to talk to anybody locally within my family or my close friends about the housing struggles and issues and stressful situations, they don't understand. And I don't get the interaction and the ability to vent and be heard. And that's why these relationships are so vital and so important, because we understand each other and the struggles that we have every day.
Well, and I noticed, I haven't seen it yet before this conference, but there's a little badge that some people are wearing, so I'll meet you there. I understand you guys are, tell me a little bit about it, because I understand you guys came up with that idea.
We're the meet you there girls.
Meet you there, girls. Okay.
I can't even remember first meeting Sheila. It's just like we connected when we met, wherever
Yeah.
it was, I don't even know. And we just became close. And there are others in our circle that we've just all become very, very close. And the only times we see each other and are together are when we attend events through Southwest NAHRO, National NAHRO. Sheila and I serve on another board together. And so that's when we hang out. I mean, we communicate, we talk all the time through Facebook and Messenger and texting and calling and things like that. But to have to be together face to face with people that you're close to, is important in any relationship. And so we just, I don't know, we just started talking about we needed to get matching tattoos. And I suggested the Fair Housing logo, but
Oh,
nobody
well.
wanted to do that. So,
We
How
were-
exciting is that, tattoo?
right?
You know, there is, like Patty said, this is a job you can't go home and talk to your family about because of confidentiality and because they will think you're crazy for doing it. There's only a certain amount of people in the country that understand. And we've developed, again, I can't remember when Patty and I met, but we did. And I thank God. Same with Bradley and the Davids and Carol and Carrie. That camaraderie, that friendship, that being able to say, you're not going to believe what they're doing at my office now. And everybody go, oh yeah, well, I got one better than that, because we've all experienced it. Patty and I were sitting around talking when we needed to get tattoos. And this has been a year ago, or maybe even a year and a half ago, that we
Yeah, I
started
think it's
this
close to 2.
conversation.
Yeah.
And we never could decide what we wanted. Well, we serve on the HBP Insurance Benefits Board, and we were in Key West at a conference and saw a compass.
We were in a t-shirt shop.
We were in a t-shirt shop. Saw a compass on a shirt and thought, man, that's what we need, because we all come from all over to a center location 2 or 3 times a year. That's when we get everything out of our system and off of our chest. And that is, for me personally, it's what helps me get through until I see you all again. We came up with several different wordings for the tattoo, and we didn't really like any of them until we were right before we went to St. Louis for our Southwest NAHRO conference this last summer. And Patty and I were going back and forth on the computer trying to figure out, we were going to do our tattoos because we hadn't done them earlier, what was going to work. And Meet You There just sounded perfect with the compass and with the fact that I know I'm going to make it through the next few weeks because I'm going to meet you all there and make this work.
And it's not just about physically meeting you there. It's
No.
it's meeting you there, because we share a common denominator in our jobs and what we deal with. Our jobs are hard, and nobody understands that better but fellow housers.
Exactly.
So it just meant a lot to us.
Yep.
And so we got our tattoos, and some other of our friends joined us.
There were 5 of us that
Yep.
got the tattoo. Once everybody in St. Louis saw those tattoos, a lot of people thought it was really cool, but they weren't the tattoo kind of people, so everybody's kind of jumped on the bandwagon. Shout out to Mark Thiele for the ribbons, because he really likes the Meet You There thing.
I've heard him mention it several times
Yeah.
from the
Yes.
podium, and I think even the Board of Governors talked about it
Yep.
a little bit in their meeting.
It's not about meeting us there physically. I mean, it is, but it's knowing that any one of you are going to meet me there wherever it is. If it's at home because my dog got hit, if
Yep.
it's because a family member passed away, we have all become families to each other. We've all gotten to know each other's families. Some of us are going to show up for our cameraman Ty's wedding here before long. So there's another instance of we're going to meet him there. We're going to be there for him to support him. I think it also goes to our family members at home. It goes to our tenants. We're going to meet our tenants where they need to be met to make their lives better, whether it's on the sidewalk, it's at the homeless shelter, it's in our office, it's in their apartment. It's just, it gets in our blood, and that Meet You There it kind of encapsulates who we are.
So, what do you see some of the challenges ahead? I mean, it seems like we always play the crystal ball, and that's always a little bit dangerous, but what happens after the elections? What does housing look like?
Who knows? I mean,
There's so
who
many
knows?
things up in the air with it. We've experienced a Trump presidency, and we know we all had certain feelings about that, whether he hated housing or he just knew how to manipulate Congress. I don't know. we've experienced the last 3.5 years with Harris as the vice president. We've seen some good, we've seen some bad. It's just, I can't even venture a guess.
And then there's Hotma.
Let's
Hot,
not go there.
they keep changing the dates.
They do. There's so much uncertainty. So,
And that, I think, is common in this business.
Yes.
You know it, Bradley, just like the we do, that you can plan, and it's never going to work the way you think it is. Just
There's
like
a little bit
Hotma.
of certain amount of adaptability. We have to
Very
adapt
much, very
to
certain.
whatever's happening and
Yeah.
to the uncertainties of this industry and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So what are you most proud of? I mean, in your career, you both have been in the industry for a long time. What are you most proud of?
That I've been doing this for 34.5 years and have adapted and am still doing it and haven't run off screaming. That I have made all of these friends, that I have been able to mentor other people in, whether it's in the job at home or whether it's as NAHRO. Bradley was my senior vice president in the state of Kansas when I was the Kansas president, and now he is the president of the Kansas NAHRO, and I've moved up into leadership in Southwest, and that's one of my prides.
I think mine is very similar to that. Just the years of experience. I mean, I've been in this for 22, 23 years, and moved up the ladder. Got involved in Monaro, and that expanded to Southwest and now national. I'm more involved than I ever thought I would be, and I love it. And I've been able to create some things like a brochure for the Missouri State Chapter, a welcome brochure, and just different things like that. It's rewarding. And it's rewarding at home when you meet your goals
Yeah.
through the struggles, and you assist somebody who is just down and out and has nowhere else to go. So,
What would be the one piece of advice that you would give to an incoming executive director that has never done this job before and
oh
has
my
no
gosh.
idea no idea what to expect?
I have one that I tell every new person, whether they're working for me or whether they're a new director that I've met at NAHRO. Learn what you can, but don't try to learn it and remember it all, because it's going to change. Find your people, find your resources to know where to find the answers. Don't try to remember all the answers yourself. Find your network, find your people, and know where to find the answers instead of killing yourself.
I think I would have to say, don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't quit, and get connected, get involved. The best place to get involved is through your state chapter of NAHRO, because you have like-minded people who support one another, understand one another, and when you are there and you're networking, you learn, even in casual conversations, you learn about the day-to-day operations of a public housing agency. I guess that would be my advice.
Yeah.
All right.
And
And
meet us there.
Meet us there.